What an evening. Brian, you started to make this emotional. But I'm usually pretty good at keeping it in check. But we'll see tonight. I'd like to first thank the varsity club, the members, everyone here that helps put this wonderful event on. I get to see Mary Jo work every day, and what she does is quite phenomenal. So Mary Jo, thank you for putting on, again, a beautiful event. So many people in this room that I could talk about and how special they are to not only Indiana University, my family, myself. This is a really special place. And one of the reasons for that is how much people care about the student athletes. And what I see with Fred, who I get to work with now, is that you love coming to work knowing that the guy that's running it cares as much as you do about what goes on. And that's an incredibly good feeling to have when you come to work. And Fred, I want to thank you for your leadership. Thank you very much. This is my home. This is my family, my extended family. So many of you in this room have done something for me. Born and raised here in Bloomington. This is where I wanted to be as a young athlete, to play here in Indiana. And it's really in the blood. And I didn't really realize it in a funny way, but we have our first child, Ben, and he liked to have songs given to him before he goes to bed. I'm going to embarrass him here. You were young, Ben. And my wife, Susie, did a phenomenal job of doing a lot of that. But when it was my turn, I had a couple nursery rhymes that I could get through. And then guess what came up? The Indiana fight song. And I know some of the dads in this room were guilty of the same thing. So confess. But that's when you really know it. That song was so embedded into me. The memories, like any song, it's a reflection on my life. And this recent championship, there was some emotional times. And nothing was more emotional than when a fight song broke out in the locker room at UNC in our quarterfinal win. And that was one of the most enjoyable moments I've ever had. To see the joy in that song and what it meant to our players and what it meant to me. But tonight, as I sit here and I get to hear all these phenomenal athletes tell their story, I got to be a part of your story kind of from a vantage that's unique, being here as a fan. This is an extremely humbling moment for me because the people that are here and in this Hall of Fame were my heroes, were the people I looked up to, the people I would watch when I was growing up, never thinking that this could be one day. And when Fred, you gave that call, that was one of the most enjoyable phone calls that I've ever received. And I had a fantastic week with all my friends, the Yellowbirds over there. And we got back on a Friday, and that phone call, Fred, I can tell you, one, I was never expecting it, and two, the flood of thoughts going through my mind of what it meant to be in this illustrious group. And that's what's so special, is, again, the wonderful people that have helped shape my life. And, again, so many of them are here tonight. As all of you know, the coaches shape us, and I had one right in my home. every day, helping me. As my mother made me soft, he made me tough. But there really was, I had an extended family that went far beyond my immediate family. The coaches that coached with my father, the players that I idolized, John Stolmeyer that's here in the room. These players were like my big brothers. A couple of the coaches here tonight were kind of like they were my uncles, come crazy uncles. Don Rawson and George Perry, to name a few. But these people, with again so many here in this room, helped me. And I can't thank you enough of what you've done for me, because all I feel like is Indiana has given me things, and I'm trying to give back as much as it's giving me. And that's what drives me every day in my current role as the coach, the responsibility that is on me to give that experience that these inductees spoke about tonight, that I had, because they're the best years of your life. The teammates that you have, the relationships that you build. The wins and losses are soon forgotten, but it's the relationships that you have and what they teach you. And as Brian alluded, we had a special team. We had special teammates, and it taught me a lot. I wasn't tough enough when I got here. There is truth to that. This place taught me toughness. It taught me what it felt like to have an incredible amount of pride when you put on a jersey that meant so much. I got to feel what it feels like to have a team that every time you took the field, you felt you were going to win the game. I never felt that until I came here. And those are my teammates and the coaches that instilled that. That's powerful. And those memories today are what drives me and makes the job I have today an incredible joy. Going into this evening with Brian Mays, they're really, it's hard to put in perspective of what he's meant to me. One of my best friends, the best player I play with. He teaches me something every day. We've been a great team. And there's no doubt that you've made me a better person, Brian. And I can't thank you for being such a great teammate. And that's the best word you could ever hear. And if anyone that ever knows or played Brian Mazanoff, that's what they'll say. And as Jim Butler and I always talk, we're going on the record, if there was ever any uncertainty, and he was a better player too, Jim, as we talk about. This guy was an absolute phenom, and I was so fortunate to play with him. My family, I'd like to first say thank you to my sister, Yvette, who has taken genetically a lot of the brain cells of our family. I worked hard for my degree, but boy, it came easy to her. I think she whizzed through undergrad and then got her law degree like it was just, let's just go get a law degree. And she did that. And I'm so proud of her, her husband Scott, their children. Tonight we have Jack and Alexandra, niece and nephew that are here tonight. Thank you. My mother and father, what they've taught me, we would be here quite a while discussing it, but a few things in particular for you, Mom, is that there's no one that is more supportive, that is more positive or brings more energy and positive feeling, and how you do it, I marvel at today. As we know, wherever there's been a successful coach or teacher, there's someone next to her, next to them. And my mother is a big reason that, for one, my father's in this Hall of Fame, and no question why I'm in this Hall of Fame. So thank you, Mom. To my father, to have your mentor, your father, someone you looked up to in every level, taught me how to be a man. He taught me how to do it the right way. He taught me what class meant, dignity. He's one of the best coaches that I think has ever coached in any sport collegiately. And to have that around you every day, I'm blessed. And I've had the best childhood and the best upbringing I could ever have. And Dad, I called you coach for 4 years, but as soon as that day finished, it was right back to Dad, because that's what you are first and foremost. You're a great dad. Thank you. To my wife, who, if it wasn't for Indiana University, we would have never have met. Thank goodness we both ended up here, because you have been meant more to me than you could ever imagine. She's incredibly strong, always gives everything she has and asks for nothing in return. She's a great friend to everyone who knows her, and incredibly supportive throughout every step along the way of my career. Never once asked, well, how about what I'm doing? And I've been able to live my dream this entire time, and she's been there with me the whole step of the way. And I can't thank you enough, Susie, for what you've done and what you continue to do. And there might be a coach that's not going to be talked about, but she's a coach. There's another Coach Yeagley that many might know in this room. Thank you, Susie. And I'd like to finish with, we have two of our current student athletes here, Harrison Petz and Jacob Bushu, two of our captains. Raise your hand, guys. What I get to do now is have the most enjoyable job you could ever imagine, as many in this room have had the chance to coach, to help shape the lives of these young athletes. And what you guys give to us every day, and the joy that I get to coach you guys, is an incredible feeling. And the gray hair is not you guys. That's just old age coming at me. And I just hope that in a small way I can give to this group, these athletes, the incredible experience that I had, that I learned from my coaches and my teammates, that they'll one day say, those coaches help make a difference. That's when you know you've done a good job. Thank you. Have a good evening.